is Bitcoin a investable product? Is it a token that you can buy and so forth? I think my answer is yes. It will. It will be a good token, a good store of value in the future, and also now, because as I've mentioned, it's $69,000 right now. If you base on the current price, with all the different institutions coming in, different corporations coming in to support the coin itself, lending the support, buying more Bitcoin into their balance sheet, I think this is a confident booster. Banks that were talking trash about Bitcoin back in 2018, 19, now they have started to shift into Bitcoin. So is it going to be a good store of value in the future? Yes. Is it a good store of value now? Yes. Is it a risky product? Yes. But like all good assets, or like all really good speculative assets, there's always an underlying bubble that may come out or may not come out. That's how an asset is being categorized, and that's how people view an asset as an asset. So I think Bitcoin as a big brother as of now, 100% good. Again, talking about market cap and so forth, now it's about close to $1 trillion, about 974 million right now. I think as we move on in the year, it should hit 1 trillion again. I do see that there are more Asian buyers entering the market right now, so I think it is still bullish.
Yeah. So I think that's good to know. The struggle, I'm not sure, the struggle which people face is how to value Bitcoin.
Okay.
Like a stock, you have a cash flow, you have intrinsic value. How to find Bitcoin value? That is a big question, isn't it?
I think the value in Bitcoin is in the kind of adoption, the kind of things that they are going to change, right? They are changing how the financial markets are working. They are changing how people look at a store of value. They are also changing the mindset of having a bank, just to do transactions. So it is a value itself, when you look at it. Of course, when you talk to some of the traditional guys, perhaps on your other episodes as well, they may think that it doesn't work like a stock, right? The stock, there's this group of CEO that is drawing a high salary. There are some KPIs that they have to meet throughout the year in order to value the stock. But for Bitcoin, there's no such thing, because it's decentralized, it's distributed. The price is determined by the market. There's again, no CEO. There's no one really running the show behind. So I think the way we value Bitcoin is the things that Bitcoin can do. The Bitcoin can promise in the shorter time frame, and what the Bitcoin can do in the longer time frame, because Bitcoin itself is the big brother. But as you look at the full full capitalization of the whole crypto market, there are probably another few thousand coins in the space right now. Bitcoin took more than 50% of the market cap. So you look at it this way. Bitcoin actually snowballed and started 9,000 over crypto. If you look at coin market cap, yeah, all these other coin wants to be the next BTC, wants to be the next Bitcoin. So that is also a value, because they are trying to increase adoption, introduce innovation. Those kind of value are there. So that's how we see what Bitcoin can bring.
So it's more demand and supply driven also, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Now, how do you look at Bitcoin, Andy? Is it like a store of value or an alternate currency?
To be real honest, I see it as a currency. But if you look at the mainstream media right now, most of them think that it's a store of value, right? I tend to think it simpler, because Bitcoin by name is a cryptocurrency. So I just see it as a digital currency, a cryptocurrency. you use it to pay, use it to do lending, use it to fund your other purchases. So I see it as a currency. But increasingly, I wouldn't say that it is just a currency. But as you move on, from where it is right now, the use cases, how it can become a bank, and so forth. I still think that it will move towards a more store of value, or a function of an asset, a different asset class maybe. But as of now, I still see it as a currency, because I do believe that the price tag to this currency right now is relatively low. There's a long way to go. So I still see that it is a currency per se, and it is a global currency.
But the governments will never allow that, right? All their monetary policies will be affected. So being a currency is a very, very difficult. It's a dream, isn't it?
I think we have to really see this from different aspects of things. Some of the governments who are more established, they are in a better position. They tend to embrace this Bitcoin a lot more. If you are talking about a government that's more closed, or more control driven, they might felt that this is actually a threat, right? So based on the government perspective, I give you an example. Government will, I give advisories to government as well. So
Yeah.
government will say, hey, Andy, we are very pro blockchain, no problem. But we are against cryptocurrency. To me, well, it's okay, because as long as you are pro blockchain, there is a possible path for you to move into cryptocurrency, right?
Yeah.
So this is one scenario. But some of the government will say, hey, Andy, let's say example, the country ABC, yeah, they will say that, hey, let's do an ABC coin, right? And then it's a cryptocurrency. But then if you ask yourself, if this ABC coin is backed by the Feds, or backed by their own central bank, backed by the government, then there's nothing to shout about, right? It works exactly the same as M2, it works exactly the same as what the CBDC is trying to do, right? And what kind of value do you have? So governments are not really against cryptocurrency per se. They are maybe against Bitcoin because of its possible value and threat. But are they against cryptocurrency? My answer is no, because based on the scenario that I gave you, yes, they are okay with Bitcoin. Okay, yes, they're okay with cryptocurrency, but hey, I have to be the house, yeah, I have to be the main guy managing all the money. Yes, I'm happy to do that, but are they happy to have new flow of money coming in, or a new form of asset coming in to disrupt them? It depends on country to country. So I think in the current times where government are changing their perception, towards the Bitcoin store of value, how this Bitcoin can function as an asset, can be saved, retrieved, exchanged from time to time. I think they have to start to facilitate this instead of trying to stop it. They can try to put rules around it, to make it more palatable for themselves, but they can't stop it. So it has come to a point where most of them realize that they can't stop it. They are trying to find ways to work around it and make sure that they have some form of control over it. So we are in the stage right now. I think we will see more progress in time to come.
So you think the Bitcoin is here to stay?
It is here to stay. That's 100% for sure.
Okay. And what do you have any price target in mind? Let's say 5 years down the line, where do you see Bitcoin? I mean, just an idea, as the demand picks up.
I do not really go for a price prediction, or any form of financial advice, but I did say that hitting 100,000 for BTC per coin is not an issue. It's definitely not an issue. But just on my own personal opinion, what should be the price of a Bitcoin? I think the price should be higher, but it should not go too high, because you just look at the price right now, which is about 52,000 US dollar. I think it is still an okay range, but once you hit anything above 100 grand and so forth, other perception or other form of restriction will actually come into the picture. People might think that this is overvalued. People might think that it is not stable because it might drop, another 30%, for example. So I think, on a personal basis, I hope that the Bitcoin itself can maintain at a certain range, which is somewhat between 50 to 100. I think that is a nice, palatable range for people to still see that as a safe haven asset. But anything more than that, I still find that it is a bit risky. So I hope that answers part of the question that you want to
No,
hear.
it does, because I've been reading some of the fund investment houses like ARK, and they're talking about 500,000. And they've done their calculations, scenario 1, scenario 2, scenario 3. And,
Yes, I've read some of them as well. They look at the different support level. They do their own prediction. They also look at the supply level. New supply versus the current supply. I think all those are prediction. The price going upwards is there. The indication is there. But again, personally, I just felt that if the coin can maintain at this price for a longer period of time, it is actually more palatable and more suitable, for more banks or more institutions to come in.